topic of incremental analysis or short-term analysis or differential analysis, there are certain subtopics that always come up. A special sales order, discontinuing a product or a department, product mix when the resources are constrained, outsourcing, do we make or buy a part? And then one that always comes up is selling now or processing further. So let's take a look at that. The decision rule is really pretty simple. If we process further and the money we get from that improved product or that different product exceeds the cost, we do it. If the extra revenue we get from processing further is less than the cost, then we don't process further. The problem is that there are a couple things that make this harder. One is format, and the other is distraction, if you will. This is the basic problem without distraction, without formatting issues. We just finished making a little side table out of wood. We can either sell it now, or we can spend $10 and refinish it and sell it for another $8. So do we spend $10 to refinish this thing so that we can get another $8 on the sales price? Well, of course not. Of course we don't. That's obvious. But I might make it seem more complicated by formatting it differently, by giving a mixture of group data, if you will, and individual data. So what if instead I said we had 50 tables that were unfinished, we could sell them now for 20 bucks each, or we could spend $500, refinish all 50 tables, and sell them for $28 each. Well, $500 to refinish 50 tables is $10 per table. $28 new sales price minus $20 old sales price is the $8. So it's the same problem. Do I spend $10 to get $8? And the answer is no. So this is an example of how formatting might make a problem seem harder. So here's the same type of problem, sell or process further, but the formatting makes it seem more complicated than it is. This company produces 3 separate products from a common process. That seems important, but it's not. It tells us that they spent $100,000 to get to this split-off point here, where they try to decide whether to process these products further or sell them now. We don't care about that $100,000. We just want to know how much we have to spend to convert this product into something else, and do we get paid back for that or not? So, product A, we could sell it now for $60,000, or we could spend $100,000, and if we do, we'd get an extra $130,000. Because the sales price after further processing would be $190. If we just sold now, it would be $60. So do we spend $100,000 to get $130,000? Yes. Product B, if we spend $30,000 to process it further, we can sell it for $35,000. Well, right now we could sell it for $15,000. So the incremental revenue, the extra sales dollars we would get, would just be the $35,000 minus the $15,000 or $20,000. Do we spend $30,000 to get $20,000? And the answer is no. Third product, we can sell right now for $55,000, or we can spend $150,000, and then we can sell it for $215,000. Well, if we sell it for $215,000, that is $160,000 more than what we could sell it for now. So do we spend $150,000 to get $160,000 more in revenue? And the answer is yes. And the other way that these things might seem more complicated than they are is what I call distraction. They might give you a bunch of stuff about how we got to this point here, we took some raw milk and we processed it, we turned it into cream and skim milk. So we got to figure out in another topic in another time how to allocate those common process costs, but they are not relevant to our decision about whether we process the cream further and turn it into cottage cheese, or whether we process the skim milk further and turn it into condensed milk. That decision will be based on whether the price that we get, the incremental revenue that we get from selling the cottage cheese, is more than what it costs us to turn it into cottage cheese. Do we turn the skim milk into condensed milk? Only if the price we get for the extra price we get for the condensed milk is more than the extra cost for turning it into condensed milk. The other distraction, besides trying to get us to look over here at sunk costs that aren't relevant anymore, The other distraction is to create a company and give us just a whole bunch of data about what the product is called, and it's never something simple like the green car. It's something like TPX47. They can turn that into TPX43, but they have to add CG47, and all that stuff is just distraction. The point is, if the extra revenue we get from converting into something else to processing further is greater than the cost of processing further, we do it. I hope that helps.